Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. All right, let's start the show.
Hey. What's going on, y'all? What is going on, everybody out there? I need you to look at your neighbor and say, there's nothing like the real thing. Huh? Ain't nothing like the real thing. I'm looking at my neighbor there. Hey, Michelle, thank you so much for being here. Good afternoon, Queen. Good day, everybody. Part 2. We have so much to talk about. Dr. Holt, I see you out there. What's going on? I love it, DW crew. Listen, I just want to take time out for the shirts. That's it. I'm just giving. How y'all doing out there? I am the one and only, never duplicated. You will never meet anybody like me. I am your host for the next hour, the one and only Daryl Walter. Yes, go ahead, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, all those places across. How y'all doing out there? I hope everybody is having a great week out there. Listen, we have a lot to cover. So do me a favor. If you love me, if you feel in this show, click like, show me some hearts, share it with somebody who needs to hear this, because we're going to talk about what went viral this week, and it's a whole lot that has happened. So yes. Ooh, I like that, Kwame. I like that. Yes. What went viral? Listen, y'all. We are coming to the end of Leo season, okay? So shout out to all the Leos out there. Big shout out to my little sister out there, Brianna. She's somewhere out there celebrating. And of course, the one and only Jason Lee had to close it out. So I want to say a happy birthday to Jason Lee. Can we show these little pictures of Jason Lee, the little baby picture? And then this picture, the one with the long hair. And the one and only current day Jason Lee. Can I tell you, Love him or hate him, because a lot of people don't like him. Love him or hate him, say what you want to say. This man right here, I got to get this right. This man right here is self made. Jason Lee had a party of the year called the Jason Lee Experience to bring in his 46th year. And I want to say, on a personal note, I think I have a crush on him, first of all. Not a crush where I want it to happen in real life, but like a crush. So a crush like I don't know. I just respect his grind and hustle, and I just think he's dope. Okay. And of course, Virgo season is upon us. Hey, Beyonce, I'm wearing this shirt in honor of Renaissance. Beyonce invited me. She wanted to sing to me this weekend. So I said, okay, Beyonce, y'all see the shirt. Y'all see it. um, Jason Lee is a social media influencer. He is um, all of your social media talk shows. He is a online personality who's at the top of his game. So all of he's like the online Wendy Williams, if you will, and I say that lightly. Also, a happy birthday. That is not a nipple; it's right below my nipple. It's a ripple. Happy birthday to Riley Burris, who turned 21. I saw these photos and I said, well, who is that? Is that a new model? No, it's Candy's daughter, Riley. That baby's, I don't know if she took Ozempic or she hired a trainer, but the legs are legging. She is giving me life. Yes, Riley, happy 21st birthday. And so Candy promised to take a shot with her on her 21st birthday. And we have a little clip of that. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the clip. I know I sent it. Well, there's a clip of Riley taking a shot with her mama. And a lot of people had a lot to say about it. Some people. Play that one more time. Cause I want. Like she done that before. That ain't the first time. Goodbye to fake IDs, Riley. I know that's right. Listen, I look at Riley and I go, she is a beautiful, beautiful young lady. And I feel like along the way of Riley growing up, I could imagine Candy said, ooh, you just like your daddy. Ooh, you just like your dad. Because the way Riley took that shot, we gotta watch. We gotta watch for Riley. That's the one. That's the turn of queen. Riley is the turn of queen, and Candy definitely has her hands full. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Because Candy likes to fight people about things and whatnot. Happy birthday to the Leos. Happy birthday to the Virgos. It's going to be a time in the Lord this coming month. Y'all, real quick, Tito Jackson is still alive. Okay. For those of you who are wondering, Tito is still alive. The other day, Lunel went to Instagram and she started posting rest in peace to Tito Jackson because she got sucked into a post. And then she had to apologize for falsely implying that Tito Jackson is dead. Let me say two things. I think this is the most attention Tito has had in a while, and I hope he has a single or something because, listen, if I know the Jackson, they love attention. Talented group. And Tito was 69. And the fact that this rumor even came up, somebody go check on Tito. Somebody go check on Tito and his hair and just make sure he is yet still okay. All right. For those of you who heard reports of Tito Jackson being dead, he is yet still alive. He is yet holding on. And Lunel apologized. Lunel loves the Jacksons. We all love the Jacksons. And that was a little premature. Howsoever, I am yet inclined to believe somebody should just go on over to 2600 Jackson Street and check on Tito and make sure his hairline is yet still holding on. All right. let's get into some serious stuff. Shakari Richardson. Is it Shakari or Shakari? It's Shakari. Shakari Richardson. Let me tell you something. Shakari Richardson makes me so damn proud right now. Not only is she a winner, but she's resilient. She's a badass. And you know what? A lot of us owe her an apology. Whenever you ready, y'all, some of y'all out there, I'll say it for myself. We owe that young lady an apology, okay? Shakari Richardson is now the fastest woman in the world. That's what she is. Okay. Now, this is a lesson for all of us to really believing in yourself, to really holding on. You know, I say it all the time, and I believe that failure is your motivator. Anytime you fail, if you got to get back up because that is just a stepping stone to your success. Okay. I know I'm saying something in here. So Shakara Richardson, she ran the 100 meter and it was just amazing. And let's just be very clear that Shakari Richardson, is it Shakari? Shakari. I believe it's Shakari. Shakari Richardson, first American in a long time, because the Jamaicans was just killing us, okay, to win that. But I want y'all to see this interview. This interview was so prolific. And listen, if y'all don't share this live with anybody just for this little piece, let's take a look at this.
All right, you know the world has been waiting to see what you'll do on this stage. What are your expectations of yourself?
The world, I'm not worried about the world anymore. I've seen the world be my friend. I've seen the world turn on me. But at the end of the day, I've always been with me. God has always been with me. So being on this scale now, it's my time. It's always been my time, but now it's my time to actually do it for myself. And the people that felt like me, the people that look like me, and the people that know their truth about themselves as well, I represent those people.
Thanks for stopping, Shakari.
Thank you.
Fuck the world, I'ma walk in direction.
That's it. That's it. The line that caught me, I was here when the world was against me. And I'm here when the world is for me. And that doesn't even faze her. Because remember, there was a time before she made a mistake. And it was an honest mistake, okay? Because a lot of y'all rolling blunts and taking edibles and all kind of stuff around there. If we were to run the test right now, come on, somebody. But with that being said, one thing about she never lost her posture. She never lost her tenacity. As a matter of fact, I remember her saying, just wait till I come back. Wait till I show you all what I can do. And what that says to me was that no matter what her circumstance and no matter what her situation, she still believed in herself. She still believed in the talent and the gift that was within her. And for many of y'all need to look at her and see that it don't matter what they say about you. It doesn't matter what the situation looks like because people are going to look at you when you're on the journey of embarking on entrepreneurship, when you're on the journey of starting something new, when you're on the journey of making a change. People will doubt you. You've been going to the gym for 2 weeks. You ain't lost no weight yet. You said you was gonna stop. That's the same thing you said last year. You still doing your little job. You still at that little factory. You still got that, I love us. We always say that little show. But here's the thing. When nobody else believes in you, I need you to believe in you. That's what this baby said. Because listen, you got to know it when everybody is for you, and you got to know it when everybody is against you. That's a sign of good mental health. We're going to talk about it today. Okay, now I hate to bombard y'all with this, but it goes into what we're talking about today, mental health, child, because I don't even know. Let's just take a break. You know what? As Yolanda Adams said on Sunday's Best, let the people shout. Let's just take a praise break right now. I need you to look to yourself, huh? Turn within yourself and say, thank you for my outcome. Thank you for my outcome. Because my outcome is greater than what other people think. My outcome is greater than what other people say. My outcome is greater than the no's. Now, now let's move forward, y'all, because again, so much to cover. Let's start with the first one. Y'all take a deep breath. California store owner Laura Carlton was shot over a rainbow flag. This was in San Bernardino, California. It's close to my hometown. 60-year-old Laura Carlton was shot and killed for hanging a pride flag outside of her store. 27-year-old Travis Ikaguchi, who was actually killed a mile away from the incident in basically a shootout. A lethal force, according to the cops. This young man was known, and it was documented that he had posted hateful comments on social media and on Twitter. But here's the interesting thing: Laura Carlton, she was committed to being an ally for the LGBTQ community. She hung her flag, and when it was torn down, she got a new flag. I know a lot of people will say, "Well, why would she hang the flag?" And to that, I just say, if there's not a cause or something you're not willing to sacrifice for, then what are you living for? I think it's as simple as that. I think it is a shame, and this speaks to the mental health in America, that this young man was so distraught that he sought to take a life in his own life. She was a mother of 9. And the sad irony of this story is that when the family arrived home after the shootout, they arrived home to a new flag on the doorstep. Listen, today I want to talk about mental health. There's so much going on in the world, and I want to have this conversation about mental health within the Black community, within the Black church, but also within those communities that are underserved within the LGBT community. This young man obviously needed help. And the question is, what are we scared of? Why are we scared to address these things? Because this is a situation, I don't know if it could have been prevented, but shout out to her family and shout out to Laura Carlton for being so courageous in adversity to still stand up for what she believed in. Now, let's move on to a young man who wasn't so courageous. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Marcus Lofton apparently shot his estranged wife several times. Now, here's the thing about this. He already looked pissed. They got married back in February, okay? And then he was arrested for domestic violence in May. Now, allegedly, with the strong alleged, he was DM. Allegedly. But either way, he was arrested for domestic violence. A lot of people say, well, she should have seen the signs. She should have seen them. You know what? You are absolutely right. But it goes to a deeper question, the mental health of the Black community as far as what we see as love and what we define as love. Can you look back at a time in your life or think about a relationship where you were stupid in love? I'm not saying this baby was stupid, but the love that you had for the person defied the logic that you have now when you look back at it. Anyways, he was arrested for domestic violence. She said, you know what? You can already tell. She like, did I do this? Did I make the right decision? So anyway, she served him with divorce papers the day after. He said, oh, you divorcing me? According to Marcus, he said that they got into a fight and the gun fell, but she was shot multiple times. And he is in jail, obviously arraigned, and he's waiting to go back into court September 5th. Let's move on to gunplay. Rapper Gunplay. American rapper Gunplay. Some of y'all seen him on Love and Hip Hop. He is a rapper from 3 6 Mafia. Some of y'all remember he used to have that big long dread in the back of his head. Anyways, He was recently arrested and charged with child abuse and child endangerment. Okay. Long story short, he was arrested because, according to reports and his wife, he was playing Call of Duty while drinking and indulging. And his wife asked him to be quiet, to quiet down the game, Call of Duty. And he got so upset, he started throwing glasses and cups at her. And then eventually he took his gun, I believe AK-47 of some sort, allegedly, and pointed it at her head and basically threatened to unalive her, allegedly. He denied the reports. Let's see that post. His lawyer and him, he denied that particular claim. So you can see there. So this is his wife. So his wife responded and said, I just want everybody to know my daughter and I are safe. My daughter's safety is my first priority. Unfortunately, Richard is back using and developed a very bad drinking problem. I've tried everything in my power to help him and love him. This is a demon he has to overcome on his own. At this point, I really believe it's too late. To summarize last night's event, I asked Richard to quiet down. Like I shared with y'all earlier, he started going off on me, asking me to be quiet. So they tried to leave. She tried to collect her stuff and basically said, y'all ain't going nowhere. He was arrested. The weapon is in police custody and he has a restraining order. And basically, they're getting divorced. You know, his wife is smart. She said, one and done. You ain't going to fool me again. Excuse me. Let's go back to Gunplay. The picture of Gunplay. You know, this story touched my heart. One, as many of you know, when I share my journey of being alcohol free, I am coming up on 5 months without alcohol. And when I read his story, one of my first thoughts were, how would this situation have gone if alcohol would not have been involved? Also, Gunplay has a history of anger. Gunplay has a history of drugs and different things. And many times we try to help someone, right? We feel like if I love them enough, if I'm there for them enough, that I can help them. And to some extent, that could be true. Like your love could be the catalyst to make them want to change. But at the end of the day, the choice is up to them. Many of us, myself included, are connected to people who are struggling. And when they struggle, they lash out in anger. They have issues. They're violent. They have anger issues. And many times we think it's something we can do. And I want to say to you, like, you don't necessarily have to wash your hands of them, but also you have to know when to say enough is enough, right? I feel sorry for Gunplay because this is a hole that he has been creating for himself for a very, very long time. And I don't care how much money you have in the world. I don't care how much success you have in the world. None of it can buy you peace of mind. None of it can buy you peace of mind, y'all. This man is 46 years old, and I'm trying to figure out why he's still playing Call of Duty with the AK-47 and listen. Mental health is real, addiction is real, and when we return, we are going to continue the conversation about mental health in the Black church. What are we really scared of? I'll see y'all when we get back. And the church.
This episode is sponsored in part by Bullet and Flight Radio. Get ready to uplift your spirit with Bullet and Flight Radio, the world's leading progressive Christian radio station. Experience the vibrant fusion of gospel house music and a rich medley of inspiration from all musical genres that'll make your heart soar. Join their extraordinary lineup of today's trailblazers, visionaries, and voices that matter, all sharing their stories and wisdom. Stay plugged in around the clock as they broadcast unmissable content 24/7. Your go-to station for all things inspiring. Become a pilot today by visiting bulletandflightradio.com. Bullet and Flight Radio. Your story, our station. Step away from the chaos and noise of your daily life Experience moments for yourself that are calm, serene, and full of peace. A necessary respite to foster growth within you, because self-care should be luxurious. Luxe Noir. Are you ready to take your streaming broadcast, website, or social media visuals up a notch? Pyromedia Productions is here with the perfect solution. From dynamics, design, and professional headshot shoots to family photo ops, they've got all you need for stunning content creation. Check out pyromediaproductions.com today and add that creative flair. Pyromedia Productions, setting brands ablaze since 2017.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Daryl Walter Show. I want to give a huge shout out to Bullet in Flight Radio, Power Media Network, and everybody behind the scenes that make this look so easy. I appreciate y'all. Let's get into the discussion. Listen, recently, y'all, we have been privy to seeing Loretta Jones, the wife of world-renowned Bishop Noel Jones, who is the brother of Grace Jones. I don't know why I feel like that's an important little caveat to be made aware of. Loretta was assaulted by a woman who made all kinds of claims, from giving her daughter cancer to Loretta stalking her. She accused her of not being able to handle other beautiful women in the same room, and basically that she got what she deserved. Y'all, if you watch the show, I showed you the videos. You can go to my TikTok and see it. What's going on, Major? So we all know the truth. We all know that Loretta did not deserve to be assaulted, and listen, I love Grace Jones too. And when I look at Noel Jones and I look at Grace Jones, I always wonder, what does Grace Jones think? She seems like she's unbothered, right? But I wonder if every now and then she just looks over and just, shakes her head. Grace Jones just be living her best life, stretching over there, singing her good music, while her brother is just... Anyways, I had to do a part two. And the reason I had to do a part two, Michelle, I'm so glad you're tuning in. My sister Michelle sent me this message, and I just want to read a little tidbit of it just to get the eye opened. And Michelle was watching a documentary on Sidney Poitier, whom I absolutely adore and love. And one of the things that she noticed in the documentary was that Robert Townsend had said in Hollywood, they wanted stereotypical actors with slow talk and big eyes. And that stood out to her because we don't address, right? We don't address what's going on. We don't address the step and fetch, if you will, right? And Major says, Loretta needs to carry some steel for protection. People think that I said something wrong, but she has protected herself if no one will or can. And you know what, Major? I absolutely agree with you. The only thing I would add to that is she's in a partnership with Noel Jones. I would hope that my partner would have my back some way, somehow. I know people who go to the church. Y'all, side note, I used to be a member of the church. I did back in my day, and I was actually baptized in Jesus' name at the church on Hoover. But the partner has to have their back. Anyways, so Michelle goes on to say about the step and fetch, how the eyes get wide. And she brought on how when a person is afraid, their eyes get wide. They're verbally assaulted, and there's so much to unpack. It made me realize that the issue is bigger than, why won't people just go to therapy? It's so easy to just sign up and go to therapy. What I realized is, along with PTSD, post-traumatic slave disorder, I'm just going to let that rest for a millisecond. There are so many other things that we need to unpack. I realized that 4% of the mental health professionals, the psychologists, everyone that we would like to see are Black. 4%. And I know many of you out there say, well, I want to see a Black therapist. I want to see a Black counselor. My question is, does that stop you from seeing the doctor? And some of you say, well, yes, it does. But at some point, you have to encounter someone who's not Black in the medical health profession. And I know many of you who are watching this live right now, I know many of you are an advocate for mental health, are an advocate for therapy, but there's so many people that we know who are not, who don't trust, who don't believe. Many people will do what they want to do. Many people will make excuses. Post-traumatic slave disorder is a real thing. Listen, so many things have been passed down. And that's why when Michelle sent me this message, I said, I got to do a part two. I got to do a part two because the answer is not as simple as just go to therapy. What I have to realize and what we as a collective have to realize is that there is trauma that has been passed down to us. There are incidents and moments and things that we are starting to call normal, right? My question is, when I look at that situation with Loretta, why wasn't she protected? If this lady needs help, why hasn't she gotten the proper help that she needs to? And most importantly, why won't the church as a whole do anything? Now, let's be real. The church is a direct reflection of the Black community, right? And so when I say the Black church, I mean all of us. What is it about mental health? What is it about going to the therapist that scares us? Is it because we've been taught not to trust? Is it because we believe they're going to harm us than do more good for us? Is it the money? I don't want to spend all that money on therapy. Which by the way, I promise you, it's a little cheaper than a Gucci and a Louis bag. And it's going to last longer, okay? But you know what, y'all? I thought about it as I look at this sheer part of my shoulder shirt. This shirt is something else, y'all. I think the real reason why we're scared to go to therapy is because we're scared of what we'll actually find out. We are scared if we go to therapy, we're actually going to find out the truth and have to do something about it. We're scared if we go to therapy that we'll actually have to uncover the trauma of why daddy was never there and why mom treated us the way that she did. We'd rather live in a land of delusion that everything is okay, that everything is perfect, that all I got to do is just go to the altar and hikana masata and just get some blessed oil and pour it over myself. And if I just spin around 3 times and shout real quick and run around the building till all the walls of Jericho fall down, then everything will be okay. But baby, you've been going to church, laying at the altar, hikana masata and pouring oil all over yourself and running around the building for the last 10 years and ain't nothing changed. You still waiting to be debt free. You still waiting on your Boaz. Or maybe you got to pray a little harder. Maybe you didn't give a big enough offering. Is that what it is? Because we're going to hold on to them church beliefs. Listen, prayer ain't going to do it. I was trying to be nice with this one, y'all. This part two, I was really trying to be nice. Prayer ain't gonna do it. See, prayer should be the conduit to lead you to the answer. And sometimes the answer is just not miraculous. It's just not miraculous. Sometimes the answer to your prayer is taking the medication. It's the same thing like people praying to be skinny, but still going to Dunkin' Donuts. You just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. Doing the same thing, wondering why you keep wondering why you have crazy relationship after crazy relationship after crazy relationship. Then you get on Facebook and Instagram talk about it's pee and pool and something's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with all these men. No, baby, it's something wrong with you. So as I was saying, let me get back to my notes, okay? I myself have been very transparent about my journey with therapy in hopes that others. What's going on, Kyrie? You walked in on love. You walked in on peace. As I was saying, I've been very transparent. resist, resist. And but here's the thing. So many times we are delusional about the reality of who we are and where we are. And we want to patch it up and cover it up with that's the devil, it's their fault. And the thing about mental health only becomes real until you open the door and recognize it. If you're just tuning into the Daryl Walters Show, we are continuing the conversation of mental health in the Black church and what are we really scared of? What is it that we're really scared of when we talk about mental health? What is it that causes people to say, you know what, that ain't for me, I'm good. I'm gonna just talk to the pastor. I'm gonna just go for prayer. You know, we put so much of okay, let me be careful with this one. We put so much of our faith and trust in the church when it comes to our mental health to people who are not trained or professionals in mental health. People in the church are trained professionals of the spirit, of church, of your soul. I'm gonna let that rest with some people because I feel like somebody wants to fight me out there, probably on the replay. But listen, what I am saying is your mental health is more than let me just roll on the ground. Let me just lay out here and go to church. Honestly, I will say this. I think a lot of times when we ignore mental health, when we ignore going to therapy, when we ignore taking those actions and we just rested in church, a part of that is fear because we're scared of knowing the truth. Let me look in the chat here. Let me see what y'all saying. And some of them are not even trained experts in the spirit. They're not. That's a whole nother conversation. We'll talk about that another time. But a lot of people in the church are just not trained. They don't have the wherewithal. They don't have the tools to really help you. And so because of that, we have people like that woman who assaulted Loretta. And we've created a community that fosters that kind of behavior. And you know what we do with it? Well, we just gonna pray for her. Well, we just gonna pray for her. And to be honest, some of y'all prayers is weak. Some of y'all prayers is weaker than a strap holding a big woman's ankle. That's just the truth. I didn't know this was. I didn't know that. I'm trying to be nice and loving, but also I want to help y'all and help the people that you know. Some of your friends out there are just straight up crazy. Okay, they call themselves bishops, they call themselves pastors, and they pastoring people out of a broken heart. They pastoring people without taking their medication, and it's time that we need to address it. all these people speaking in tongues and interpreting dreams and everything. I'm not saying anything wrong is wrong with it, but some of it is a product of mental health and us not addressing it. Come on now. How are you an apostle and you ain't started a church? How are you a bishop and you 22 years old? But nobody wants to address their mental health. We just want to pray about it, wait for a good drum beat, and shout all over the place. And I've been there. I love to shout. I love a good chandelier, especially with money being the motive. Can't even heal a headache. And you know what it is? You can't even heal your own soul. How are you going to heal somebody else's? Your house is a mess. So when we talk about mental health in the Black church, what are we really scared of? I'll tell you what else we're really scared of. A lot of churches are scared of losing money. A lot of churches are scared of losing memberships. A lot of pastors are scared of losing control. And some of y'all that been going to church and holding on to church, you've been holding on to church because if you let that go, then you won't even know who you are. Because your identity is wrapped up in the youth choir. Well, let me fix this. Here we go. Who you are is wrapped up in the minister. It is wrapped up in being an armor bearer. You don't even know who you are unless you carry the pastor's briefcase. And let me just park with the DO gay men in church and the women too. Shouting and shouting and shouting and shouting, hands just flying. And just as gay as the day is long. Still gay. And you don't think that affects your mental health. Day in and day out, you singing in the choir. You singing in the choir and you're going home to your man every week and you wondering why you confused. You wondering why you about to have a breakdown. Because every Sunday you go around a bunch of people who can't stand you. But yet and still you don't want to go see a therapist. Because you're going to talk to God about it. You've been talking to God about that same thing for the last 10 years. And you still gay. Can we start normalizing behavior in the name of God and think that everything is a spirit? Ooh, child, you just going through, you got the spirit of depression. Ooh, child, you just acting crazy. You got the spirit of heaviness. Everything is not a spirit. I'm not. Church has become entertainment. The souls are not an agenda. I know we want everything to be a spirit. Listen, I grew up coaching. Everything was a spirit. And church has become an entertainment. Church has become a solid. Listen. Side note: I watched the Stellar Awards. I never seen anything like it. I love performance and entertainment, and I love ministry. But everybody kept saying, "Ooh, it's just so child." Everybody just ministered. It was a show. And there's nothing wrong with it. But the church has become a show. And the church has become a show, so much so that the entertainers are starting to pimp their fans. You know, and the deeper part in this, y'all, is that I want us to start seeing that mental health matters. How do we address mental health? How do we take the stigma off of it? How do we take the fear off of it? And also, listen, some of us got to take the blinders off. You can go to church, but your pastor's not perfect. Human, just like everybody else. And so many people in the church. Yeah, yeah. It's a business. And so many people do the same thing as you, Mitch. Listen, I have been in many performing choirs, many performing groups. You know, I know how the Holy Ghost activate. But also now that I'm older and now that I'm in this space, going through everything that I've gone through, which is a lot, I've been very transparent about my journey with mental health, my journey with therapy, my journey with growing, my journey with evolving. And I am a product of the church. I'm a product of the Church of God in Christ. And I realized as I started talking about it, I got a lot of pushback because, listen, if you've been in a church, a lot of people don't like to hear the truth. They'd rather cover it up. They'd rather not talk about it. They'd rather ignore it. I know many churches that will ignore the domestic violence because he's a good singer. They'll ignore the gay choir director who's infected with HIV, living with HIV, because have you seen him direct? They'll ignore the manly usher because he gives a lot. You listen, we fall down, but we get up. But we won't ignore the pastor that slept with the half the congregation. And I bring all of those things up because church and spirituality in the Black church will say, well, just pray for it. And love covers a multitude of sins, and throw it into the sea of forgetfulness. I believe those are excuses. I believe those are easy ways out to ignore the problem and not address the elephant in the room. And now in 2023, where we are living, we have gone through a pandemic. We have seen so many churches close. And I know a lot of people are trying to get back to the way things used to be. I love a good choir. I love a good chandelier, okay? And there's still artists that I love. But with that being said, the only way we can truly move forward is to address the things of the past and things like mental health. There's so many people who are hurt by the church, who are hurt through the church, and who are hurt because of the church. And I believe part of the reason is because of the improper actions and the improper ways that the church has handled mental health and those who are in need. Maybe because of money, maybe because of status. Who knows why Loretta was assaulted? Some people say, well, she deserved it because she married a man and she knew what she was getting into. And others say, where was security? But I really feel deep down inside, underneath all of that, the underlying conversation that we need to have and continue to have is mental health. And why are we so scared to address it? That's it. Listen, I enjoyed this conversation. I didn't mean to step on nobody's feelings. I really didn't. I really didn't. I really didn't. Prayer without action. But listen, now I say this with love. Baby, after you pray, after I love it. You pray, you fasted, you do all these wonderful things. But then what? But then what? What is prayer going to lead you to? And a lot of times, okay, let me stop. Let me stop. I'm going to get in trouble again. Listen, I want to share some resources. Many of you out there, if you know friends who are suffering, you can go to www.every-mind.org. I'll put it in the comments, and you can see it on the YouTube channel. www.blackmentalhealth.org and blackmentalhealth.com. They are a wealth of resources if you are looking to connect with someone, low-cost stuff. There are forums, there are groups, there are newsletters. Listen. This is what I want y'all to do. Number one, like this, share it, show me some love. Two, share this information with somebody who you think could benefit from it. And if you can't do that, show some love to somebody who you think could benefit from it. Somebody who could use a hug. Somebody who could use you know what, you doing a good job. Help somebody else out today the same way you would want to be helped, okay? And let me just say, finally, I think I've got my closing saying down, y'all. Listen, if you have a dream, make it come true, huh? And if you have a vision, baby, I need you to see it through. But most of all, stay true to yourself. Listen, I will be back next Wednesday. And until then, y'all stay safe. I got an appointment with Beyonce this weekend. I'll see y'all later. Peace.